Welcome to the Invest in New York Childcare Deserts Request for Application 2 for Existing Providers Overview. During this session, we will provide you with an overview of this grant opportunity that is available to existing eligible New York State childcare providers who operate in childcare deserts. During this session, we will discuss the grant timeline and an overview of this opportunity. We'll provide a distinction between the two eligibility categories, Component A and Component B. We will also share information on how to use the Childcare Deserts map and the resources available to you. We'll conclude with important information that you need to know about this grant opportunity. RFA 2 for existing providers is projected to be released in the first half of May 2022. On or around June 30th, 2022, the application portal will open for those who are eligible and have completed the necessary steps to apply. The application portal will remain open until August 4th, 2022 at 11:59 p.m., and OCFS will announce awards in September 2022. Payments will begin after award recipients complete their licensure change and OCFS completed their vendor review and approval. What are childcare deserts? Childcare deserts are census tracts where there are 3 or more children under 5 years of age for each available childcare slot, or there are no available childcare slots in that census tract. Later in this presentation, we will look at the Childcare Deserts map to help explain this further. Available childcare slots used for the New York State OCFS analysis include infant, toddler, and preschooler slots in licensed daycare centers and NYC DOHMH permitted Article 47 programs only, group daycare programs, as well as 6 weeks to 12-year-old slots in licensed group family daycare and registered family daycare based on licensed capacity as of October 2021. All census tracts in New York State have been mapped depending on the number of available slots, and information can be found on the Child Care Deserts map by visiting the link shown on the screen. How does New York State plan to address childcare deserts? New York State has identified $100 million to address childcare deserts by building and expanding licensed childcare capacity to those areas of the state with the least supply. The resulting awards will increase the number of available childcare slots in New York State in those areas identified as areas of need. In January 28, 2022, OCFS released the Invest in New York Childcare Deserts RFA for new providers looking to establish new childcare programs in childcare deserts. May 2022 marks the release of RFA 2, which has earmarked $30 million for existing childcare programs that were licensed, permitted, or registered before January 28th with either OCFS or NYC DOHMH, and who are seeking to expand capacity under their existing license. This chart shows the award breakdown of the $30 million set aside for existing providers who are awarded grants under RFA 2. Funding is based on an application's total score compared to the total scores of other applications received in the same region and modality: daycare centers, school-age childcare, and home-based. Downstate regions have been allocated $18 million, $10.8 million for daycare centers, $3.6 million for family daycare, group family daycare, or small daycare centers, and $3.6 million for school-aged childcare. $12 million is allocated for the rest of the state, with $7.2 million for daycare centers, $2.4 million for family daycare, group family daycare, or small daycare centers, and $2.4 million for school-age childcare. Downstate consists of New York City, Long Island, the Mid-Hudson Regional Development Councils, and the rest of New York consists of all other REDCs not in the downstate region. The RFA is offered in 2 parts, Component A and Component B, each with its own eligibility criteria. Component A of this RFA is to expand childcare in existing daycare centers, including daycare centers permitted by NYC DOHMH and in school-age childcare programs. Component B of this RFA is for small daycare centers, family daycare, and group family daycare. Now let's take a deeper dive into Component A, including eligibility, the goals of this component, requirements, and deliverables. Component A eligible programs include daycare centers and school-age childcare programs. The goal of Component A is for eligible programs to increase their license capacity by up to 25 slots. Component A also includes a per-slot bonus for programs who agree to designate some or all of these up to 25 slots to serve infants and toddlers or children with special needs. The per-slot bonus is an additional $3,000 per slot, serving infants and toddlers or children with special needs. Providers who receive this bonus for infants and toddlers or children with special needs must have children enrolled for proposed slots by 6 months after the date of their pre-approval letter to continue to receive bonus payments. If enrollment is not achieved by 6 months after the date of their pre-approval letter, programs will not receive the per-slot bonus until children are enrolled in the infant, toddler, and/or special needs slots. SACC programs can receive bonus funds for serving children with special needs, but cannot receive bonus funds for infant-toddler care as they are not eligible to serve this population. Awards are calculated on a per licensed child care slot basis for increasing licensed capacity up to 25 new slots. This chart shows the breakdown of all allocated bonus funds by modality and location, New York City, Long Island, or Westchester region, or the rest of the state. Component A eligible providers who are awarded must meet a series of deliverables, including that their license is updated to reflect the change in capacity, that they are open and operating, and in good standing. Awarded programs must apply and be actively engaged with Quality Stars NY, and staff must have completed all training and compliance with OCFS regulations and/or Article 47 requirements. In addition, Component A awardees who qualify for the bonus must meet 2 additional deliverables. Infant and toddler slots must be filled by 6 months after the date of their pre-approval letter, and care must be available to children with special needs as outlined in the grant award, with ultimate enrollment 6 months after the date of their pre-approval letter. Moving on, let's take a look at Component B. Component B eligible programs include small daycare centers, family daycare, or group family daycare. Only 1 award can be granted per program. Component B eligible programs, SDCC, FDC, GFDC, can apply for 1 award if they agree to expand specific types of childcare within existing programs, specifically for infants, toddlers, children with special needs, or expanding program hours to include non-traditional hours. Programs can agree to 1 or more of these options, but will only receive 1 award with no bonuses. Programs can apply for a grant to expand their program or services based on one of the following criteria: expanding the program to provide at least 15 hours per week of non-traditional hours care, enrolling at least 1 special needs child, or enrolling at least 1 infant-toddler child. As a reminder, programs can apply to 1 or more of these options, but will only receive 1 award with no bonuses available. Slots designated for infants, toddlers, or for children with special needs must have children enrolled by 6 months after the date of their pre-approval letter to continue to receive payments. If enrollment is not achieved by 6 months after the date of their pre-approval letter, programs will not receive payments again until children are enrolled in the designated infant, toddler, and/or special needs slots. Component B eligible programs that are already designated as providing non-traditional hour care can only apply to serve children with special needs or infant toddler and cannot displace existing children. Providers will not be eligible for payments if they release currently enrolled children to open up new infant toddler or children with special needs slots. Awards are calculated on a program basis, and this chart shows the breakdown of award allocations by region and modality, New York City, Long Island, or Westchester region, or the rest of the state. Providers who are awarded must meet a series of deliverables, including that their online FAMS profile shows current enrollment as of the date the grant is issued and showing availability, or that their license is updated to reflect the change in capacity if necessary. Awarded programs must also be open and operating and in good standing. Awarded programs must apply and be actively engaged with quality stars and Y, and staff must have completed all training in compliance with OCFS regulations and/or Article 47 requirements. In addition, Component B awardees must meet additional deliverables if applicable. Non-traditional hours must be available as reflected in the program's grant award. Care must be available to children with special needs as outlined in the grant award, with ultimate enrollment 6 months after the date of their pre-approval letter. And in the case of infant toddler slots, slots must be available and ultimately enrolled by 6 months after the date of their pre-approval letter, as outlined in the grant award. Moving on, we'll discuss the terms of the awards and payment details. Awards will be prorated based on the duration of the grant per provider. Actual payments may be impacted by not achieving deliverables, and initial amounts are not guaranteed grant amounts. Payments will begin after any necessary license change and pre-award requirements are met. Invest in New York Child Care Awards are for up to 1 year and 10 months. Applicants will apply starting no earlier than June 30th, 2022, and the application period ending no later than August 4th, 2022. Once award decisions are made, grant awardees will be sent a pre-approval letter. For Component A programs, the first of 7 quarterly payments, 1/7 of the award amount, will be approved after any license change is approved. Subsequent payments will be delivered quarterly after the license change has been issued to the program and all pre- and post-award requirements are met. The additional payments will be made quarterly after the initial payment as long as the awardee is meeting all deliverables as indicated. For Component B eligible programs, the first of the 7 quarterly payments, 1/7 of the award amount, will be made once all pre- and post-award requirements are met. If by 6 months after the date of their pre-approval letter, the new enrollment of designated children, infants, toddlers, or children with special needs has not occurred, the program will not receive payment for the 3rd quarter until enrollment is achieved and eligibility will be reviewed. Once enrollment is achieved, payments will restart to the program for any remaining quarters where enrollment is achieved. Providers must remain open, provide in-person care, or have staff on site to provide care for approved slots, be in good standing, and whose quarterly inspection or desk review shows grant deliverables are met for the quarter. Upon award, grant payments can be applied to eligible project expenses that applicants paid beginning on the grant application submission date. The final grant payments will not be made after June 30th, 2024, and the final award amounts and ongoing payments will not exceed the lower of the number of slots proposed in the application, or the capacity approved for the license, and may be adjusted based on quarterly inspections. So what happens if a program closes or reduces their capacity? If programs close or reduce capacity before the end of the grant period, they will not be eligible for OCFS grant funds after the date of program closure or capacity reduction, and will be required to return any unspent grant funds received to OCFS. To be eligible for all award payments, all licensed providers must be in good standing and not in an ineligible status. Now let's talk about what grant funds can be used for. Allowable expenses include program development costs and short-term program operating expenses, including but not limited to personnel costs, which includes payroll, salaries, similar employee compensation, employee benefits, retirement costs or educational costs, other child care business expenses, and supporting staff expenses in accessing COVID-19 vaccines, rent, including under a lease agreement, or payment on any mortgage obligation, utilities, heat, insurance, electricity. Funds can also be used for training and technical assistance expenses, including professional development, business training, and business services. This chart breaks down the different allowable expenses by category, including payroll and personnel costs, business rent or mortgage, business utilities, and facility maintenance and improvements. It's important to note that funds cannot be used for construction or major renovations such as structural changes, extension of a facility to increase floor area, or extensive alteration of the facility. Additional allowable expenses include goods for caring for children, services, fees, and other expenses, such as costs related to staff recruitment and the purchasing of equipment and supplies for both indoor and outdoor use. Now we will discuss scoring of the grant applications. Grants will be scored separately by program type, modality, based on whether the proposed program is in a high, medium, or low level of child care desert census tract, is in an REDC with a high, medium, or low rate of desert, is in an area with a high score on the diversity index, or serves in a high poverty neighborhood as identified by the percentage of families at or below 200% of the federal poverty level. In the event of a tie score among applications, ties will be resolved by awarding in date and time order of when the application was submitted. The New York State Child Care Deserts map can be used to determine a program's base grant score. Use of the Child Care Deserts map is not required, and it is for reference only to show potential applicants what their base score will be based on the address of their program. The map is searchable by either address or by zooming into an area of the map. Once the program location is found, an applicant can click on the census tract to see what their possible score is. When the applicant applies, this information will all be pre-populated in their grant application. Here is an image of the map and links to resources available to applicants on understanding the map. There are instructions available on the OCFS website and a walkthrough video in both English and Spanish. Before you get started, what do you need to know about the application process? There are 4 steps to apply for the Invest in New York Child Care Deserts RFA 2 for existing providers. The first step is to review the details of the grant requirement by reading through the RFA. A program will then need to determine their projected expansion. Once a program has determined their expansion, they should contact their regulator with any questions and for assistance in changing their license. Prior to applying, programs must have initiated any needed licensed amendment process with their OCFS regulator or NYC DOHMH Borough Office for updating changes to licenses. The final step is to complete the application and submit. Providers will complete an online application to provide details of their proposed program and how it will address child care deserts in their area of the state. The application portal will open on June 30th and will close on August 4th, 2022 at 11:59 p.m. Applicants who have questions about their license capacity, space limitations, or details of their current license should speak with their regulators. Additional questions related to the grant opportunity can be found on the Child Care Deserts website or by speaking with a child care resource or referral agency. Thank you for watching this overview of the Invest in New York Child Care Deserts request for application 2 for existing providers.